The next part of our lesson is talking about what we call the one-to-one property. And what we mean by that is if b to the x power equals b to the y power, then x equals y. And so, for example, 7 to the x equals 7 to the third. That means that x equals 3. And 2 to the fifth equals x to the fifth. That means that x equals 2. So to solve logarithmic functions for a variable, we have 5 equals log base x to the 30 of 32. Our first step is going to be to rewrite it in exponential form. So this is saying that x to the fifth is equal to 32. Our next step then is going to be to rewrite the values as a base equal to b, or so that way the powers match. Either way will work. In this case, because x is our base, we can't do it as a base of x. Therefore, we want to get our powers to match. So we have x to the fifth, and I need 2 to the fifth power. So I know that 2 to the fifth power is equal to 32. And so x, therefore, equals 2. And so that third step, in case you didn't know, is to use that one-to-one property to solve. So now for I know that 125 to the x power equals 5. Well, I have to go smaller, which means I know that my power is not going to be negative, because negative would make it fractional, but it is going to be a fraction. Because remember, if we have the 1/2 power, that's the square root. Well, I know that 5 cubed is equal to 125. So I have to leave it as 125 to the x, but I need a base of 125 over here. So because it is cubed to get from 5 to 125, it's the cube root, or the 1/3 power. So therefore, x equals 1/3. For this bottom one, for j, we have here log base 2 of 1 to the 4th is equal to x. That means that 2 to the x power is equal to 1/4. Well, to get a fraction from a whole number base, that means that our exponent has to be negative. And that means that I need to turn 2 into 4, which would be squared. I need to get my bases matching. So I know that 2 to the x has to equal 2 to the something. Well, 2 to the negative 2 I know equals 1/4. Therefore, x equals negative 2. The last piece that we need to be able to do is graphing our exponential function and its inverse, which is what a logarithmic function is. So 4 to the x we've done before. If I use 0, 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2, 4 to the 0 is 1, 4 to the first is 4, 4 to the second is 16, 4 to the negative 1 is 1/4, and 4 to the negative 2 is 1/16. Now, one of the things about log base 4 of x, that means this is y equals b to the x. Here, it's b to the y equals x. So if you notice, the x's and y's flip-flop, which means in our table our x's and y's flip-flop, because if I put in y is 0, that's 4 to the 0, which is 1. If I put in 1 for y, 4 to the first is 4. So this would be 2, this would be 16, this would be negative 1, negative 2, 1/4, and 1/16. So if we graph these, I can first graph in blue 0, 1, 1, 4, 2, 16, negative 1, 1/4, and negative 2, 1/16. So here is my exponential function. If I graph the logarithmic function, we have 1, 0, 4, 1, 16, 2, 1/4, negative 1, and 1/16, negative 2. So as you can see, basically it means that your domain and your range are going to flip-flop each other, and it's going to occur across our line of y equals x. And so there you have it. Your job now is to go ahead and give these U-Try problems a shot, enter them into Edpuzzle, and as always, bring your questions with you to class tomorrow.